Alright, how y'all doing out there? This is Pete over at SWRNC. We're at D.I.Y Auto School today working on our 1967 hood ride. And what we're doing to our hood ride, we just got done putting in a freeway flyer transmission. That's a upgraded transmission that has 388 gears in it. It's a brand new transmission. The transmission that was in here was a piece of shit transmission, but you know, that's the situation you got when you buy a hood ride and expect it to be a real fucking car. You're gonna get a pile of shit that you're gonna have to work on all the time, unless you do what my friend Pete does and completely mechanically go through the whole car and make it right. Just like our brand new 1600 dual port engine right here that I just got done rebuilding myself. And when I say brand new, everything in the engine is brand new. The cooling tin is not brand new. I did not paint the cooling tin. So don't judge a book by its cover. That is an example that says just because it's an ugly motherfucker, possibly like some people think I am, doesn't mean you take it for granted and it becomes a pile of shit. This is a brand new engine with brand new heads. You can see the brand new heads. It's got brand new cylinders, and these are Molly pistons, not fucking Japanese shit. We got a brand new Brazilian camshaft, brand new made in Mexico crankshaft. Everything's brand new internally on this, and it should be a brand new fucking engine when we get ready to start it. Now, I did go ahead and change the muffler out to the quiet pack muffler. Even though I like the looks of this one with the big 2.5 inch diameter fucking exhaust tips on it, this thing here is pretty fucking loud. And when I say loud, it's loud inside the car, not outside the car. So I decided to take that off and put the stock brand new muffler on it, because I'm getting old, and when you get old like my friend Pete, you like to at least drive in a little bit of comfort and style without having a fucking headache and getting neck pains and back breaks because the fucking thing is so loud you can't think inside the car. So we'll go ahead and install our motor very shortly, because what we got to do first is finish putting our transmission back in the car, and I'm almost done with it. The last thing that I got to do, and I can actually go ahead and put the motor in at this point if I wanted to, but I kind of like to take it one step at a time to make sure everything is done properly. And the next thing that I got to do, I got to put the drum back on, yeah, right there, back on the axle. And anybody that knows these old Volkswagens, these old early 60s, late 60s Volkswagens, and all the way up to a fucking Volkswagen Bug of the 70s, it's got big gland nuts that hold the rear axles on to the shafts. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. What I'm saying is it has big gland nuts that hold the drums onto the axle shaft. And those have to be torqued down to approximately 250 plus PSI pounds. Or should I say per square foot pounds, not PSI. It's Sunday, it's late, and I am tired and want to go home. So the normal way that you would put those on by yourself at your house, being a do-it-yourself guy that you are, you would more than likely use a tool like this. Now, what this tool is consisted of is a big giant fucking block of steel to fit onto the nut just like so, and then you would take a sledgehammer of some style, a little small handheld sledgehammer, and you'd beat the shit out of it until you think that it's tight enough to go on. And yeah, that works really good. But the situation is, we have found an easier way to do this, and I'm sure there's a lot of Volkswagen guys out there in the world that know what I'm talking about, but on the other hand, there's a lot of guys that don't.
Welcome to D.I.Y Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So when I went and had the drums turned, I changed this over to back to drum brakes. I'm sorry, when I bought this car, it had a complete four-wheel disc brake system, and I like to have factory original. If Volkswagen had that on the car, that's what I like to have. So I converted it all back to the factory original wide 5 bolt pattern drum brake system. And when I went to have the drums turned, one of the drums would not turn because it was out of round. Now, let me talk about that little subject just for a minute here. And I'm going to tell you what the situation is when you go to have your rear drums turned and they're out of round. The reason for that is because these brakes on a Volkswagen, you have to manually adjust them. They do not have automatic adjusters. You have to manually adjust them every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. And if you don't adjust those, what happens is the brake pads are getting smaller and smaller, and your brake shoes are opening up wider and wider. And what happens is when you come to a complete stop, after you've been driving your car all day, the drums are very, very hot. And what's the first thing you do when you park your car? You turn the emergency brake on. You pull that emergency brake out. You got your drum that's scorching fucking hot because you've never adjusted your brakes. And eventually, from doing that so many times, it's going to make the drum itself deformed and out of round, which will cause it from not being rounded out to stop properly. And that is what was wrong with one of the drums that I had, so I decided to go ahead and buy 4 brand new drums, because once again, I like to have a mechanically sound vehicle that I could drive to New York City, California, 20,000 times if I want, and be safe where I'm not going to break down on the road. So now that we got our new drums, we're going to go ahead and install that, and I'm going to show you a tool. And like I said, there's probably a lot of you out here that know what tool we're talking about. This is a magical tool that might have came from the magical mystery fucking world of magical tool country out there in outer space, because my friend Pete never saw one of these. This was the only tool that I used for many, many years, and it worked very well for me. I never had a problem. I never had any gland nuts break off or anything whatsoever, and it's a good tool. So if you have this and you use this, use it at your own risk, but make sure that that nut is very, very tight on there and safe, because if this falls off, it can actually ruin the drum, it can ruin your axle, and then problems will proceed into the transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and install my brand new drum onto the axle here, if we can get that on there. Sometimes getting these on is a pain in the ass itself. So what we got to do is make sure that our brake shoes are lined up properly, because if they're not, it will not go on good. But having brand new drums is a real plus when it comes to these vehicles. So we're going to try to get that baby on there and see what happens. And we're not having much luck. And I see that this one here is open too far. New drums are going to give you problems. They will definitely give you problems, and because you're used to the old ones. So we're going to go ahead and screw that in all the way where the shoe is completely stopped at the stopper to the last thread. And then we should be able to put our new drums on. I know this is a pain in the ass, but all I wanted to do was show you how to use this tool. But you know my friend Pete, I like to explain things in detail, because that is part of learning. And this is a situation that says if you buy new drums, you have to make sure that your shoes are closed all the way to get them on. shoes are closed all the way. Let's try to slide it on again. And it still seems like it's going to be a tight squeeze here for some reason. And it's not over here on this side, it's over here on this side. So I'm thinking that our shoe is not lined up properly. Because it's not going on like it should, motherfucker. Fucking closed all the way. There it is. All right. When I say that fucker should be closed all the way, we ain't fucking around. So I'm glad I showed you that. That's a good little tech tip in itself. When you're replacing your brake shoes and brand new drums, make sure the adjuster screws are screwed all the way in where your brake pads are closed all the way, or you ain't getting that on there. We got a few minutes of fucking off here and explaining shit. Why don't we go ahead and show you what the fuck's going on with the tool at hand. And the tool I'm talking about is this tool right here. Now this is a double whammy tool all in one. This tool right here will install the gland nut on the drum itself and torque it down using an 11mm socket. And of course you have to bolt this adapter plate onto your drum just like that. I'm going to show you that. But this tool right here also dummies up as two tools in one. When I say double up, I'm talking about doubling up as a tool for your flywheel gland nut, which is behind our clutch assembly here. This would actually ride on the flywheel itself. This is a torque multiplier. And when I say that this tool works perfect, this will torque it down to 300 foot-pounds with ease using our torque wrench and our multiplier and an 11mm socket. Now, before we go any further, I want to explain this tool to you. If you look right there, you can see some writing on it. Let me turn it around. So when you're using your torque wrench, it says that 25 pounds equals 25 pounds on your torque wrench would equal 225 pounds using this. And then if you go to 30 pounds of foot-pounds torque, it equals 270. So this little tool right here is a real magnet to put in your toolbox and use. I believe it's called a torque multiplier. A lot of people call it the Torque Dude. Okay, that's D-U-D-E. You can buy these tools. They aren't cheap, I can tell you that. This tool right here cost $80, and it's well worth it if you own several Volkswagens or are in the Volkswagen business of making money and doing jobs such as what I'm trying to show you here. So now, back to the fucking job at hand. And now that we've explained what the tool is, the way that you're going to use this is you're going to bolt this to your drum, just like you see me doing. Alright? Very simple, easy situation. And the kit comes with two 3/4 inch bolts, 3/4 drive that is, that you'd use a 3/4 socket. And this will work on the wide 5 pattern or the 4-bolt pattern, either one. You go ahead and install your nut just like you always would. Get it on there as tight as you can. And we're going to go ahead and use this just to speed the process up here. And I'm only using this right here just to speed the process up to show you how the tool works. So, you know, that's why we're using this son of a bitch right here. Alright, once you got your nut in place, now what I do is I got a, when it's up in the air like this and I don't have the tires and the wheels on, it's not down on the ground, what I would do is take a piece of metal like you see, so when it goes around it'll catch it like that and I can get a good torque on it without holding it. So we would take our tool just like you see here, and let me bring it back up here. We would go ahead and put it right onto the gear right there, just like that, taking our torque wrench, and then of course getting the torque that we would want on the wheel, which would be 25 foot-pounds. And you can see how easy this is for me to actually turn. It's a tool that you can't live without if you do a lot of Volkswagen work. Alright, let's see what our torque wrench reads as we turn it. And I'm holding the drum with my hand. Now, that's what makes this tool really, really nice, is because it's a multiplier. It's a torque reduction tool that says, I could do this with ease. So I'm bringing it up. Now I'm almost to 25 foot-pounds. And that's 25 right there, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and just go just a little bit more. Alright. That's about 28. Let's go ahead and go 30 pounds. Make sure these babies are on there good and tight. And there you go. So that's 30 foot-pounds at our 11 millimeter gear, which would multiply it down to this to be 270 foot-pounds. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you a tool that is very handy to have in your toolbox. Expensive tool, but well worth the money. I actually don't own this tool. My buddy VW John brought it over for me to use. I didn't ask him to use it, so we'll make sure that this gets back in the case exactly how he gave it to me, and we will give this back to him in brand new state condition, because when you borrow somebody's tools, which he loaned it to me, I didn't ask to borrow it, he said that I would like one. And he's right, I do like it. It's a very, very nice tool. It's a handy tool, but the thing is, I don't know if I'm going to be buying this tool due to the fact that it cost $80. $80 is a lot of money to me, but $80, if you need a tool like this, is worth the money, and very, very well. Yeah, you saw what we did here. And I can't say more. So there is your fucking multiplier, your torque multiplier tool right there, back in the box that John gave it to me, so everything looks brand new. And this is Pete, and showing you, we forgot to tell you that once you get it torqued down, I might have to get this bitch back out. I forgot to tell you that you have to make sure that it lines up with a hole. Well, we got lucky, look at that. Because on a Volkswagen, you have to put that nut on there. If you don't have that fucking keyway, you're fucked. So we got lucky. I didn't have to get the tool back out and use it. There you go, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, taking his time to show you how to do it right. Do I talk a lot? You're fucking A-right, I talk a lot, because that's part of learning, is explaining. And if you don't like the way I talk and you think I talk too much, go fuck yourself in your ass. Take this fucking air tool and blow yourself real hard. We'll see you later. And I got to get to finishing this training up because I want to get my hood ride on the road and get down the road safely. Take it easy. Multiplier tool, easy situation, made easy. My friend Pete showed it to you. A lot of you guys out there already know about it, but you know what? There's a lot of guys that don't.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.